The ball's gone to the 11. This is now our pressing phase. So defending smart. Look at where the 5 is to now where the 5 is. Once we played that ball over the top, we are defending in attack. Unfortunately, here it hasn't quite worked out to attack. Our 11 has been pushed off the ball. They lost the ball. We created a foot race for that red player who just turns out to be perhaps bigger, stronger, faster, maybe was in the right place at the right time. 11 fell over. All sorts of things happen. However, now there's a transition moment. We have our team pressed almost all the way into their half. This is a really good place for us to go and press, to be aggressive. We call this the counter press. So now our 9 and our 10 immediately step up to prevent any sort of pass coming across the field. When they do that, the 2 and the 7 tuck in behind them. The 2 goes and acts like an extra centre back with the 4 and the 5 because the 3 is going to press on that side of the field because everything we're going to do is to force the ball into what we would call the easy pass, the obvious pass, the not so dangerous pass. See how the 6 is tight, the 8 will move across and become tight too. And our shape here is really well organized so that the only pass that red can make is into that fullback. Around that ball now, we have a 2v1. If that centre back goes and helps, now we have a 3v2 because our 10 is there. And then the 5, the 6, and the 8 are tight against the man with the 2 and the 7 covering that weak side of play. We set that trap, we go win the ball there and break to the 10 or the 9 and go and get ourselves a goal. But if that player was able to break that pressure, find themselves organized, set up in the back like this, we'll set ourselves into our mid block. This mid block is dictated by the 9, making sure that that red player can only go to one side of the field. Again, we're making it predictable. When we do this, we defend in a 4-1-4-1. So we have the back line that you can see, the 3-5-4-2. The 6 is the single midfielder in this moment. And then the next line of 4, the 11, 10, 8, and 7. And then the 9, as I said, is dictating the press. When they do that, you see how the 11 isn't marking that fullback, but is inside. This is, again, our mid to low block where we are now keeping the ball in front of us. We want him to play out to that player there. That's an easy, predictable pass. Now, importantly, the 11 will go out and press, doesn't have to go and try and win the ball, but go and again, make it predictable because we want them now to play into the trouble where our players are. They play that ball in there, our 6 and our 10 can jump straight on the ball. And again, this is about setting traps. So we don't go press too tight until the ball is played. Because if we press too tight before the ball is played, that player will look elsewhere when really we want them to play into that space because it's predictable. We know it's going to go there. We have 2 players around the ball to win it. Now, what if we don't win it? What if that player is able to play an amazing pass out back to the goalkeeper? Then the same thing happens again. We find our shape. We find the 4-1-4-1. We encourage that ball out to that defender on his own out there, and we recreate that press. 7 doesn't go too tight. 2 is nice and tight so that prevents any sort of pass over. 8 needs to get goal side. 10 is tight, and we go man for man through the middle. The 9 prevents the ball from going anywhere else other than into the area where we can win the ball.